Okay, so the average age of all of the animals is 2.3088. But what if I want the average age of just the dogs? So we need this to work with filters, and the key is going to be the function subtotal. Now, for some reason I'm going to turn off the bold. Okay, so we have subtotal. Now, if you do subtotal and then you put your open parenthesis, you're going to get a bunch of options. Average, count, count A, max, min. We want the average, so I'm going to click average, or you could type the number 1, and I want the average again from E5 to E1004. And it's the same thing because I'm including everybody. But now if I filter by cats, the average cat age is 1.45. All those decimals are annoying. I'm going to go to the home. And humans really don't like to see more than a couple decimal points unless you're doing baseball batting averages, in which case 3 is fine, or something other specialized. But too many decimals just makes data like sickening to look at. So the average cat age is 1.45. Let's go to dog. The average dog age is much higher at 2.8 when they enter the shelter. Let's count. I'm going to go again to subtotal. And notice I see that there's count. Let's count how many dogs there are. So I'm going to count the animal column. So C5 to C 1004. How many dogs are there? It's going to tell me 0. And why is that going to be? Let's remind ourselves of the count function. The count function counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. In column C, none of the cells contain numbers. We're interested in count A, which is the number of cells that are not empty. Now notice something that's tempting to do is just go all of C. Oops. So we could do a subtotal with all of C. And as for the count, we already said it's going to give me 0. I want to go to count A, which gives me how many are non-empty. 632. Let me get rid of the filter because I want to show you something. 1001, not 1,000. And there's 1,000 rows of data. But that's because when you look at all of column C and it's counting how many cells are not empty, it's counting that title. And so the titles don't come into play when you use just the count function because it's not a number usually. But here, it's a non-empty cell. So I'm going to go back and specify the appropriate range. Oops, not 4, but 5. It starts at 5. Okay, so now there are 1,000 values there. How many cats? 369 cats. That means there should be 631 dogs. 631. Very good. All right. Let me turn that filter off. Clear the filter. Okay, what if we want to have dogs who are between the ages? Let me see, what's the oldest dog? So we'll do our subtotal. And we'll do our subtotal. The oldest is Max, What's the max? And the oldest dog is age. Age is column E. So we're going to go to E5 all the way to E1004. And what's the oldest dog, or the oldest animal is 17. Is that a dog? What's the oldest dog? 17. The oldest cat is 16, so pretty close in age. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to clear this filter. In the next video, we are going to fill in the values in these cells. So why don't you try to do that by yourself and then watch the next video and make sure that you are correct.